Surfing has been my life, like my friends, my professional career, my health. Everything has been from surfing, everything. And I'm going to just keep surfing as long as I can. I hope I can surf to 100 years old, you know. Anyway, one last thing, because when Jim was talking about starting OP, just when Bob and I started Quicksilver, the Hoffman brothers helped us too. Like, we were a few years later than Jim, because Jim was up and going, and we were sort of like watching him as the guru and trying to figure out how to do what he did. And we used to go down to see Flippy and Walter Hoffman to get fabric. And Bob and I, we wanted to learn all about the fabric business. You know, we were going like, how do we do this, or how do we do this, or these prints, or blah, blah, blah. And Flippy would get me off to the side, and he'd be going, "Hey, Hackman, Jeff." I'm going, "Yeah." And he goes, "Hey, can I ask you something?" I'm going, "Yeah, Flippy, what?" He goes, "You know when you take off on a big wave like at Waimea and stuff, and you go down?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, how do you get back up there?" And I'm going, "Turn, Flippy, turn," you know, so. Anyway, those two brothers were magnificent, and the love they had for surfing was phenomenal, as my love for surfing. And I think as a family, we're so fortunate to be part of this sport, this passion, and I'm going to continue it as long as possible. Thank you very much.
She has the Pam Burridge Surf School. She's coaching a couple of up-and-coming girls from Australia that I would think she's probably a pretty good coach. And so it's my great honour to bring Pam Burridge to the stage here today in Huntington Beach, Surf City.
Thanks for that. Okay. Thanks a hug. Yeah, as everyone else has said, this is an incredible honour to be recognised like this. And yeah, when PT first told me about it, and I read through the schedule, and I actually was, I was starting to cry. So I can imagine once I start talking and making it a bit real, and just thanking everyone. I might do that again, or since I've said it, I might not. But so yeah, first up, I want to thank my family. The ones who are here, Mark, my husband, and Otis, my son. Isabel's at home, my daughter. And also my parents who, like Timmy was saying, like, I don't even know if they ever got to Huntington, because they took me everywhere else. They took me to Hawaii, they took me to all those national titles and things like that, and supported me doing what I loved, you know. I won't go through the whole history of my surfing, but I started at 10, and not many girls surfed, but my parents supported me by getting me a surfboard, and there was probably only a couple of girls on the whole northern beaches that surfed. And so you go, well, that's a bit of a miracle. My parents didn't surf. My dad didn't swim, and my sister's a synchronised swimmer, so she supported that as well. But yeah, I came to Huntington in '82, and I was a little bit punkish. And Barton had a punk period too. And where's the hair gel in this photo though? That's what you're doing if you're punk on a surf. Your hair goes down. You look like a page boy. But anyway, and now I haven't had a haircut for 3 years. But anyway, and yeah, so I came to Huntington, and I was a bit confident, you know. I thought, because Frida and all those girls hadn't showed up yet, I beat them by a year. So I was here, I was 16, and I just thought that car was mine, you know, the one that were with first place. But in a best of 3 final against Becky, yeah, I didn't win, and I couldn't believe it. But I was just like, the people on the pier were kind of not being that friendly against the Australian. But you know, they're probably just cheering me, really. But, you know, that was one that slipped away, and I sort of missed out on that world title at that age by about, 20 points or something. So my story would have been different, but I don't lament that at all. That was such an important part of my story, and the chase went on for me since 82 to 90 for me to win that world title, you know, and I had a lot of near misses. But it grew me as a person. It made me attend to certain personal things that were going on, and what what was important to me and things like that. And through my life, surfing has saved me from lots of things, and then it hasn't abandoned me, but somehow I lost the love from it from time to time. And not for long periods, it's just because I expected surfing to fix absolutely everything, and I was trying to make it happen. And but now, being slightly wiser, it's 30 something. How many years since I was paddling under that pier? You know, I let surfing come to me, and I just enjoy it. I ride a million different kinds of boards, and I teach people to surf from yay big to really old. And I want to have a shout out to the princesses at home, who's a group of women that surf in my local town of Mollymook, and most of them are my age or a bit older. We got a few young ones in there as well. And we just have these Saturday mornings where we go for a surf lesson, where I just put them on the peak and just get them into the best waves, and we just have the best time. And experiences like that has shown me what the connection is to surfing. It's not just about me being out there like at North Stain, where I didn't know anyone's name, right? Because I didn't talk to anyone until I got a bit older, for about the first 5 years. Sitting there, never talking to anyone, never, just being completely isolated individual. So it's taken me a while to feel the tribalness and the connection I have to surfing and how profound it is. It's so deep and so meaningful. And so I love these gatherings, and I really enjoy sharing waves now. I really don't want a wave to myself. I want to share it, especially with a longboarder, so I can hit off the wake behind them. That's so awesome. So yeah, feel free to drop on me, but don't drop in on me, but don't kill me. Yeah, so I'm just incredibly honoured, and just looking through that list on the Women of the Year. You know, last year Mary Lou came to California one year and didn't have anywhere to stay, and she put me up for months, really. But the only thing was I had to go and judge like the national championships at Ventura and all those things. So I learned so much from that, though, like her dedication and how to judge and just be a bigger part. So and I've sanded boards and I've painted boards and I've glassed a board here and there, and you know, I've done a bit of everything. And I was really inspired listening to the surf coaching story, because we've got Ulladulla High have a surf program. It's not an elite program. It's a surf studies course, which is approved by the Board of Education, and it dives deeper into the life of surfing and the industry and surfing. But I do the core component, and that's been going a few years. So, you know, involved on many levels, and you know, so I'm just really honoured, and congratulations to all my fellow inductees, and I'm just really stoked. Thank you.
Okay, now we get to close the show. And I couldn't think of a better person to close the show than my mate Barton Lynch. There wasn't a bigger surf star than Barton Lynch back in the 80s. And a big part of that stardom was right here in Huntington Beach. He won the OP Pro twice. One of the only people to win out here multiple times. It's a short list. I think there's not even half dozen of people that have actually won out here. But as was mentioned earlier, there's no one that's more a student of how to compete than Barton Lynch. And I'm sure all of you out here that have been tuning in to the WSL events this year, and you can't beat Barton's frankness. He's not scared to call them out and give them a hard time. He might get in a blue one of these days when one of them comes around the corner, because they're a bit mad at him for calling them out what mistakes they made. But his commentary on the WSL has been a welcome addition in this year, and I hope they keep using him. Of course, he was a world champion too. And it's great to have guys like him and a couple other guys from his era like Damien Hardman. And it's really a great honour to bring Barton Lynch up to the stage here today in Huntington Beach, Surf City, where he's been our champion here twice. Barton Lynch.
All right, I don't normally get nervous, but kind of nervous. You know, it is, as everybody has said, such an honour. You know, I saw Sonny Garcia posted on Facebook this morning that it was 30 years ago that we surfed our final out here together, and I went, oh my gosh. And I've forgotten pretty much, you know, my short-term memory losses are accruing by the day, and I forget about those heat winds and forget about those moments, and in a lot of ways don't really feel like that person anymore. And to be recognised and for the City of Huntington Beach and the Board of Directors, the Walk of Fame, to actually remember, honestly, it was a bit of a shock at first. I thought to myself, well, geez, that WSL commentary's good, isn't it? Sort of makes you top of mind again rather than sort of forgotten. And then I realised, and Pam and Mark, we had dinner last night, and I realised when it came to me, that's what I thought. Honestly, I thought, well, that WSL sort of made you top of mind. But I think in Pam's case, because she hasn't had that high-profile situation, it shows the depth of respect and understanding for our culture that this city has, because she's not top of mind and in everybody's face. And it just proves that Huntington Beach has a deep understanding of our culture and of our champions and respect for the women. And Pam and I grew up together at Manly Beach. You know, we're more or less the same age. I remember that little girl in the photos. I remember lots of people thinking she was a little boy at the time, right? And I remember how good she was and how amazing she surfed, and having watched her career, and as you said, none of us get to the top without our own personal battles and demons, and having to come to grips with that. And to watch Pam become the lady she is, a little known fact that no one knows is we actually dated. Not... I knew she'd find someone better than me, a husband in Mark. Yeah, so we've known each other a very, very long time, and it's an honour to be here. I think when we both saw that we were getting inducted on the same day at the same time, that was a really special thing to me. I was like, that is sick. That makes sense to us, you know. So thank you very much for that. Jeff Hackman said he's a pioneer, but I think to all of us, he's a pioneer and a champion, that's for sure, huh? And again, it's an honour to be inducted on the same day as you, mate. Thank you. And Jim Jenks, that was the OP Pro right there, eh? And without you, you know, and without OP and everything that they brought to our sport, I wouldn't have had those moments and I wouldn't be here. So big thank you to you. And Timmy, any bloke that paddles over Lukey Egan, because he's no small fry, and I most probably backed down from that a few times. Respect, brah. And you know what? Coach Verde over here, coaching for 30 years, right? I've been coaching for 15. Look at me, grey, bald. And look at him. They must be good students, mate, eh? Or a good system or something. It's taken its toll on me, not on him. He's looking good. So congratulations to Huntington Beach High too, because that is an amazing achievement. I spent most of my time trying to figure out how to wag or truant school, quite honestly, so I could go to the beach, because they didn't have a surf program. And the teachers in the end, we created a board riders club, I did at school, so I could compete more. And the teacher, a science teacher who surfed, helped me run the board riders club at school, and he said, you've got to start coming to school more, mate. Honestly, you've got to come or we're going to have to do something. And I was like, mate, I can't. I'm going to work. I know what I'm going to do. You don't have to worry about me, mate. I don't need school. I'll be okay. And in the end, they organised a car ride. In the afternoon, I would go to the teacher's car park and get in a teacher's car who would drive me to Manly. And in the morning, because I didn't live at the beach, I would have hitchhiked down. And then after a surf, I would go to the corner store at Carlton Street at Manly, and the teacher would pick me up and drive me to school. So they would get me there. So I suppose they were supportive, but the program you guys have got is amazing, so congratulations on that. And again, Huntington Beach is one of those places that, you know, to be so entrenched in our culture and so respectful of our culture. Because I remember being a kid, my parents didn't really want you to surf. People were kind of embarrassed that you were a surfer. They wanted you to be a doctor or a lawyer or something that brought respect to the family, and surfers were like no hope, beach bums, drug addicts, whatever else, and there just wasn't that respect for our culture. And I remember thinking that was one of those motivating factors for me in communicating what we did to the public was, hey, this is real, this thing's sincere, and we're all about it. We love it, mate. And I suppose for me, I just love it. That's all I do. That's all I care about. Well, besides my family, and you know, I just love surfing and I love riding things. And I'm with you, bro. And if I can live to 100 and I can surf, at least as long as I can surf till I die, maybe not 100. That's a lofty goal, mate. I like it though. But as long as I can surf until my days are done, I'll be a happy human. So thanks very much, Huntington Beach. Thanks very much to everyone. Respect. Thank you.
And I just want to mention that next year will be our 25th anniversary of the Walk of Fame. And there's going to be some big plans, and there'll probably be a big gala where we're going to try and have as many of the inductees over the 25 years. It'll be a special night, so keep that on your calendar during the US Open next year. And now, everybody, you're welcome to get your photos.